Let's get started. I'm John Renton with my review of NWA 74 Night 1. Let me know your thoughts on this show in the comments, please. Quick explanation as to why I stopped reviewing NWA Weekly about a year ago. Well, after watching Empower and NWA 73, I enjoyed some aspects of both shows, but I was a little bit worried about the direction that the company was going, because William Patrick Corgan was making some questionable choices as far as talents he was pushing, Tyrus namely, and after a couple of the weekly shows afterwards, I was starting to feel a little bit burned out, but not just with the NWA, with, a few things in general. So I had to scale a few things back, but also I had a lot of personal stuff going on that I did not want to admit. Had to admit that to myself, had to take care of that, had a lot of work going on, scaled completely back on reviewing NWA, and decided I'll come back to it. But then nothing drew me back in. And while they've featured some good talent, they've also done a lot of questionable shit that made me think, it's not worth it. But then viewers requested, mostly on Twitter, hey, could you review, NWA 74 Night 1 and 2? Enough people requested it, so fine. I dropped $40 for the bundle and said, fuck it, I'll give it a shot, because you know what? I looked at the card, I don't know who some of these people are, but I like some of these people. Why not? Could be enjoyable. The wrestlers need to eat. Let me support professional wrestling. Let me support some really good wrestlers, while also kind of holding my nose in regards to some of the people that shouldn't be featured on this card at all. And I will say, well, I'm just going to talk about this card in due course, but I'll say I didn't waste my money, but there were certain things where I was like, wow, whew, boy, that was a little bit rough. And then there were parts that were actually pretty damn good. The show also went a bit too long. They featured a lot of matches, but with the pre-show and the main show, 4.5 hours, ouch. It could have easily been cut down by 30 minutes. They just cut down a few of the matches, I think. The crowd wouldn't have been nearly as tired. They were in the same venue, I believe, as they were last year for Empower and NWA 73. But I don't believe they drew as big of a crowd. And that crowd sounded really goddamn quiet. Because I checked, if tickets were still on sale or tickets were still available. And as of the morning of the event, there were still tickets available. That's not good. Anyway, for the pre-show, Joe Galli and Tim Storm, who are a great duo. Tim Storm, great wrestler, offers that great insight, like being, a part-time wrestler, part-time commentator. He's really good. Joe Galli has incredible enthusiasm and must have taken about 50 doses of caffeine. And I like Joe Galli. He just had a whole lot of energy. My God, he had a lot of energy. They did have audio issues on the YouTube pre-show, but you know what? It is what it is. And then we get the Country Gentlemen, AJ Kazana and Anthony Andreas with Joe Kazana. Could that be the Kazana promotion? It could be. It might be. I don't remember the name of it, though. They took on Gold Rush with a bunch of H's. Jordan Clearwater, who was good on Primetime Live and also, did some pretty good stuff in the NWA when I was watching. And Marsha Rocket with Austin Idol. Grandpa Idol is still there. I don't understand why. Because he just sounds like a weird old man that doesn't understand what's going on. He doesn't understand where he is. Good old country territorial guys. That's what I call the Country Gentlemen. And I'm not familiar with the Country Gentlemen, but they were fine. Good throwback gimmick. Jordan has improved quite a bit. We got a melee and we got a roll-up 1, 2, 3. Not the only roll-up on this show. There's not going to be a ton of analysis for some of these matches because unless I have something really, really bad to say or something really praiseworthy, why spend too much time on it? It wasn't a bad pre-show match. And Jay Bradley is not medically cleared. We get more card rundown. May Valentine was all over the goddamn place here. VSK was supposed to take on Luke Hawx, but he didn't take on Luke Hawx. Or the PJ. He was supposed to take on Luke Hawx, I believe. But Luke Hawx, say that name slowly and you will laugh. But I won't because I'm mature. Luke Cox. Ha! Anyway, he took on Rhett Titus, ROH, mainstay. Nice mat wrestling. We got a post spot. We got VSK focusing on the arm. He's been featured on AEW Dark and Dark Elevation. And then we got some loud fisting from behind. That's always a good thing to see. And then we got a belly-to-belly suplex. 1, 2, 3. Good little match. Certainly not bad. The Pope, D'Angelo De Niro, taking on Rodney Mack with Aaron Stevens. I had one question going into this. Rodney Mack is still wrestling. Amazing. Rodney Mack is 51. Still in good shape, by the way. And Pope is 41 and in phenomenal shape. Pope, it seems like he's been around forever. But Rodney, unfortunately, he looked great, but when he was doing some stuff like, ooh. And Aaron Stevens, yes, is a manager now. He's, and actually, I hate to say it, but at this point, probably good to be a manager because he's a hell of a goddamn talker. He's a good wrestler, don't get me wrong, but if this is going to be the second half of his career, good stuff. Pope gets a good pop. Jumpstart by Rodney. Good heel work by Rodney. He didn't move all that great after a bit, though. I mean, then again, Father Time is undefeated, but it wasn't bad. Pope has to fight off two people. Stevens got laid out, and then we got the Cobra Clutch, and there you go. Rodney wins. Okay. And then here comes Kratos. He's going to get revenge on Stevens, because Kratos hasn't been here for a while. They were former tag team champions. And Kratos, okay. You know what? Good way to revisit that story. I remember that story. Long-term storytelling. And then we get May Valentine with Bully Ray. Bully May, as it were. And he's talking about a tables match and beating up Mike Knox. Don't really know why in the world we need to see Mike Knox in a wrestling ring in 2022, but nevertheless. So, Harry Smith Jr. is out with an illness. I hope he's all right. I really do hope. I mean, I would think illness. I would think they would probably admit if it was COVID. Hopefully he'll be all right. Commonwealth Connection, him and Doug Williams must surrender the tag team championship. So it's going to be Hawks Aerie or Hawks Aerie. That was Hawks Aerie all this time. Against La Rebellion, who were the former tag team champions that the Commonwealth Connection beat. And the new champions will be crowned, when somebody wins the match. That's usually how a vacant championship match works. So, Caprice Coleman and Gustavo. I work with a guy named Gustavo. This is not that guy, because this guy's really agile. And mobile and hostile. Will you quit? No, sir. We want some more. Versus Colby Corino and Wrecking Ball Legursky. Colby Corino is fucking tremendous. I see that a lot of his dad has rubbed off on him, which sounded a whole lot less dirty in my head. Not really familiar with this Wrecking Ball guy. It's apparently a pick your poison match for a 6-man match on night 2. I don't really know. I haven't paid attention to the TV, so I'm not really sure. Caprice Coleman, by the way, in phenomenal shape at 45 years old. So he keeps up well in the gym and also does great commentary. This Wrecking Ball guy isn't very good. He's not bad, but he's not great. I mean, he's better than Tyrus, but then again, I've shat things out that were better than Tyrus. But it took a while. It took a bit too long. Caprice eventually got the tag. He got the chicken wing on, and the Wrecking Ball guy tapped out. And I guess the Wrecking Ball guy is going to be part of, maybe he's going to be teaming up with the Caprice and this Gustavo guy. Okay, cool. Wasn't bad. Pre-show matches are fine. By the way, at the end of the live feed, there were 2,054 people that watched the live feed. Now, I know the NWA has more fans than that, or at least I thought they did, but that's really sad, because they hyped this up quite a bit. So, the main show, we start off with footage from July 1st, 1977. Terry Funk and Harley Race for the NWA Championship. This was cool to see. I think it was from Houston Wrestling. Was it Houston Wrestling? God, I'm trying to remember. I thought that might have been Paul Bott. I don't actually really know what it was. But Bullet with butterfly wings, because what the fuck else is Billy going to be able to license? Oh, Billy. Don't be a hero. Good old MST3K. Some people might get that. And I thought we were just going to get Joe Galley and Tim Storm, but up, we're getting known conspiracy theorist and stupid twat Velvet Sky on commentary. Look, I tried to keep my opinions separate the wrestler from the person, but when they're that much of a goddamn idiot, I can't help but say it. I don't care what promotion it is. Velvet Sky's a goddamn moron. And so is her goddamn podcast partner, Angelina Love, who said, oh, the right thing was done today. No, it wasn't, you dumb bitch. Guess what, Angelina? If you didn't have control over your body, you'd have 5 fucking kids now, provided that you could get anyone that actually wanted to be with your dumb, drunk aunt ass. So there's me off my soapbox. Control your narrative has made its way to the NWA. That is not a good thing. Control your narrative is running in dive bars. I have seen more people drawn at indie shows I've gone to that can only hold about 250 people. So, Joe Galley was on fire. At least he must have been, because he was panicked a lot. And in a good way. I mean, Joe Galley's enthusiasm is incredible. So, it is Nick Aldis, out to a pop. He's not going to be wrestling on this night, but he's going to be wrestling Flip Gordon on the next night. What has Nick Aldis done to warrant having to face Flip Gordon? Who I used to think was just an idiot because he thought the earth was flat, but no, he's an anti-mask, anti-vaccine moron. So, it's not my belt, it's your belt. He's just putting over the fans, doing some stuff, and good on Nick Aldis. You know, I like Nick Aldis. I don't find him boring. I find him to be a very good talent, very good promo, great throwback, but can bring that style into the modern age. Great for him and Mickey. You know, they seem happy together, and that's great. To find true love, that's always great. But Nick Aldis, as a talent, I'm disappointed he never went to WWE, but Bruce Pritchard apparently isn't a fan of him because Bruce Pritchard's a fucking moron. And after what they did to Mickey, I kind of don't expect him to go there. It's just a shame because Nick has been a great NWA champion. What else can he fucking do there? He held it for, 1,000 some odd days. Granted, they had the pandemic and all that, but still, nevertheless. So what's left for me in the NWA? Maybe it's time for me to walk away. Nope, I'm not going to walk away. And I'm going to face Flip Gordon tomorrow. It was a good promo. Nick is very well spoken. A great talent. So then we get EC3 versus Mims. So is Mims healed up? Because apparently he had a shoulder issue. Well, he'd have to shoulder the responsibility of carrying what is left of EC3, who sort of looks great and really just looks like he's off his goddamn tits. The Control Your Narrative promotion. Oh, we're going to tour later. Of course you are. Of course you fucking are. And you're going to draw nobody, and I'm going to fucking laugh. Because it's from a bunch of right-wing stupid fucks. Arm focus, Mims does fire back, and there's a crossface for the win. And we'll have EC3 then cuts a promo, and he's just staring at everybody, telling everybody to control their narrative, and they boo him. And Thomas Latimer shows up. And he says, you know, you got your demons, but you cleared your demons, and you got yourself clean, and met your wife and everything, his second wife, not Charlotte. Don't read up on that if you don't want to know why I don't like Thomas Latimer too much. But I will pull your demons out one by one. I'm going to pull it out of you one by one. I need an adult. So anyway, so the miserably faithful Judas, who's the former Murphy of Gunner and Murphy, no, really, Sal the Pal, yes, Sal Renaro, who was the lovable goof, now he's a freaking weird guy, you know, bendy guy that likes pain, and Gags the Gimp, who apparently is Blitzkrieg in another life. With Father James Mitchell taking on the ill-begotten, a guy named Alex Taylor, Jeremiah Plunkett, and that Danny Deals guy. It's a Beelzebub's Bedlam match. I can barely say that without laughing, and I was laughing throughout this match, except for one part. Okay, it's no disqualification, weapons, everything, and all that, and it was dumb. I'm sorry, this is dumb. Hardcore matches have been overdone in WWE, AEW, even New Japan to an extent. Dumb, and it felt very, very, very low rent. It felt like the guys were trying. It also felt like they were trying too hard. There was, I don't know why the Gimp was dressed up like Blitzkrieg and I couldn't unsee it. At one point, the one of the guys got a cross out and threw holy water at Judas. Because funny and evil and all that and everything. So, Head Injury the Musical is what I call this. They're just hitting each other with all kinds of plunder, if you will. Chairs and whatever. We got a fucking broom used at one point. This was absolutely abysmal. And then, god damn it. They got on a ladder. Sal and Alex, I believe, got on a ladder. And they're going to do the spot where they're going to do this suplex in. And I don't know what the hell happened. But it was a suplex into... They crashed into the ropes, and then Alex somehow did a perfect moonsault off the ropes onto Sal. It was one of the... Go and check this spot out if you get a chance. NWA 74, and it'll probably be one of the first things that pops up. I can't even describe it properly. One, I hope they're all right, because that looked really fucking scary. Two, that was encompassing what was going to go on with this event. Because this event was snake bit by this fucking point. That 20-foot fucking ladder, I mean, that was so... Yeah, let's bring out a ladder. Let's bring out everything. The 250 people that were there might have enjoyed it. Really sad that they could only draw 250 people to that place. I'm not saying they could draw 2,000, but I think they drew 750 last time. Oh. Anyway, then apparently there was a Medusa came down because Medusa's involved in this. Throws power in that Danny Deals guy in his eyes and chokeslam 1, 2, 3. It was a terrible match. Terrible. I hope those guys are alright. But fuck, that was terrible. Odinson took on Chris Adonis. I don't know why he sprays the silver stuff in his mouth. I don't know what it is. Whatever. If it helps him, I don't care. Big meaty men slapping meat, beating each other up. Looked like Adonis might get the victory. And then Odinson had that goddamn spray and no, you sprayed me in the eyes. Okay. That was pretty much it right there. And then Kyle Davis was with the women's tag team champions, Elle Envy and Kenzie Page. Kenzie Page, by the way, who was on Dark Elevation or whatever, and I did see a lot of flack that she got because they're like, oh, she's young, but she's not in very good shape, and da-da-da-da-da. And whatever. I don't give a shit. She showed some promise. She has improved her work. She's laughed and said, ha ha ha, I could get in good shape, but it wouldn't matter. Who cares? As long as the wrestler's healthy and they can do work, what the fuck's it matter? It's like the Disco Inferno thing about, talking about Sammy Guevara making fun of Eddie Kingston's weight when Disco Inferno couldn't fucking whip cream and was only kept around because he's a goddamn idiot that people could laugh at. So anyway, they knocked the Hex, but is there tension? Because Kenzie wants to do things the right way, apparently. At least that's what commentary said they got out of that. Kerry Morton with Ricky Morton. Yes, relation. Versus Homicide. NWA Junior Heavyweight Championship match. Youth versus experience. I did not know Homicide was still wrestling. And I'm not knocking Homicide. I just would have thought that he might have retired because he's done a whole bunch of shit to his body and I'm amazed he can still walk. He's a good worker. Homicide kept knocking Ricky while he was beating up Kerry. Kerry kept firing back. Some good stuff. He did the Three Amigos. Eddie chants. And then it went a bit too long. They got some good counters, and it went too long. We got an inadvertent low blow. No DQ, apparently. Nope. We got a roll. We got, a couple more counters, and then we got a super cutter, 1, 2, 3. This ain't over. It will never be over. Homicide Anderson. It will never be over. There you go. And then, it wasn't a bad match. I just felt that they tried to do a bit too much. And it felt like if it had ended a couple minutes before, it would have been better. That's just my opinion. And that's a recurring thing on a lot of shows, in all honesty. Kyle Davis brings out Tommy Rich, who I thought was Edgar Winter. And he talks about how he, is former NWA champion. Jim Barnett's favorite. I kid. Good old Jim Barnett. Man, he was weird. But did a lot of great shit for wrestling. So anyway, Tommy Rich went out there. He was fired up. Good for him. If you stuck Tommy Rich and Ricky Morton side by side, I wouldn't have been able to tell the difference, unfortunately. Yes, I will go to hell for that. Mae Valentine is with Thrill Billy and Paulo Damar, who's great. Feature them more. They're great. I've never seen a Thrill Billy guy work. I believe he's going to work on the show on the night too. I need to know where I can watch more Paulo Damar besides just on NWA. Where else can I see them? They're great. That's vibrant. Everything. Great stuff. Oh, they're going to be part of an indie event I'm going to go to in a couple weeks. Good. So anyway, they cut a promo about, I think it's some title match. Amazing. Great shit. Matt Cardona cuts a promo. He's back from surgery early. Good for him. He challenges somebody. After saying that Bully Ray says, oh, I'm not hardcore, I'm the deathmatch king. Deathmatch wrestling isn't really wrestling, Matt. I don't know if you know that. He brings out a guy named Rolando Freeman, who's a short person, a little person. His head's too big for his body, and his body's not big enough to fit over the ropes. I've never seen this guy. The joke is that he's a small, slight individual. Cardona beats him up. This Freeman guy gets a flurry. And then Cardona continues to toy with him. Looks like he has him beat. And then lays back. And then they do the old Ted DiBiase 1, 2, 3 kid. Most devastating maneuver in all professional wrestling. Crucifix roll up 1, 2, 3. And the little man wins. So, all right. Wasn't bad. I'm not the biggest Cardona fan. I appreciate him for trying to reinvent himself. But again, deathmatch wrestling isn't wrestling in my opinion. So, May called the Battle Royal participants top tier. That was funny. I mean, top tier is what you mean. May Valentine's great. I feel bad for her because she gets a lot of flack for unfair things. A lot of unfair things. And good on her for being clean and sober for a number of, over a year, I believe. Or over 2 years. Good for her. So, it's a gauntlet match. The Burke Gauntlet Invitational. Winner gets a shot at either Camille or Taya Valkyrie tomorrow. Kylan King, Samantha Starr with Baby Doll. And Baby Doll I don't really feel bad for because she's another one of these right-wing gun-toting twats, so she could basically just explode for all I goddamn care. She looks terrible. She's a perfect 10 if that perfect 10 had, was seen with cataracts in one eye and was blind in the other. So anyway, Samantha Starr is apparently her daughter. Well, good for her. Hopefully she turns out better than her daughter. Or better than her mother, rather. But turned out better than her daughter. Pronouns, pal. Tootie Lynn. Okay, I know that's her name, but I'm sorry. Tootie, please. I'm immature. I can't help it. She was part of the event last year. Misa Kate. Can't help but say it like Jar Jar Binks. I'm sorry. Maxie and Paler. They are Max. They did great here. And yes, that's the proper pronouns. Fuck off if you don't want to use that. Maddie Renkowski. Watching you, Renkowski. Always watching. Apparently she's not just Maddie, but I'm going to say Renkowski. That's a callback to when I reviewed AEW Dark and Dark Elevation. And Angelina Love, who, look, Angelina Love is 40 and seems like she's looked like she's 40 for about 20 years. What has happened? Why is she in a wrestling ring? She wasn't that good when her, Velvet, and Madison Rain were part of the Beautiful People, but it was a good act. It was also well over 10 years ago. And she couldn't even work then. Why is she working now? Genuine question. And then, Genocide. I still don't know what Genocide's gimmick is. Natalie Markova and Taryn Terrell, who tried to ruin Drew McIntyre's career. And she's a goddamn screeching banshee that isn't any good in the ring. She was great in that series of matches with Gail Kim in 2013, and then she got pregnant, and then she didn't want to really do anything good in wrestling. She wanted to welcome us to the dollhouse. So anyway, I'm not going to go into a long series of stuff about this. It was a battle royal, and I've seen too many battle royals on various, shows, and that's really just about it. I like Kylan. I could give two shits about Taryn and Angelina. Max is impressive. They are very impressive. Angelina has the grace of a dead antelope, is what I noted, except a dead antelope probably smells better, if you know what I mean. Genocide. Genocide was the last entrant. This got messy. Taryn and Angelina got eliminated and did the Spider-Man meme thing, because they look exactly the same. Over tan, undervalued, and underpowered as far as brains go. And it was down to Max and Markova. Wasteland and Max wins. Max wins. They win. And they're taking on Camille tomorrow. Sorry, spoilers. So, Aaron Stevens cut the promo about the fans and Kratos. Hey, if you can find a tag partner, you can face me and a partner tomorrow. Either tomorrow or on TV. I actually didn't really care because by this point I was getting tired. Speaking of getting tired, Scion with Austin Idol taking on Jack's name with Chris Silvo Esquire, the third. NWA National Title match. And okay, so here's the thing I'm going to mention. Jack Stane's fine. Scion's fine. I still don't get Scion's gimmick. I don't get it at all. I don't think I ever will. Apparently he's Austin Idol's son. God forbid Austin Idol reproduce. We are fucking dead in this world. Later interference by, was it Crimson? It looked like Crimson. I swear that was Crimson, but they called him something else. But maybe he just looked like Crimson. God forbid. If anybody looks like Crimson, I'm sorry. Even Crimson doesn't want to look like Crimson. Scion says no. Then we get a choke. We get a ref distraction. We get no call because the referee's distracted. And this went long. This crowd died. We did get a DVD for 3, and Scion beat Dane for the national championship. Okay, cool. There's a title that his dad held. Assuming that's actually his dad, and it's not kayfabe. It's probably kayfabe. But most importantly, what overshadowed this was the commentary positively mentioning the contributions of Grizzly Smith. Grizzly Smith, who molested his own goddamn daughter. So fuck Grizzly Smith. He should have been slapped around repeatedly. Granted, it would have been hard to slap around a 6'10" guy. But he should have been ganged up on, beaten, had the shit beaten out of him. He should have been left in a fucking ditch. For all the kids he abused, his own daughter, and all that. So yeah, fuck Grizzly Smith. Mentioning Grizzly Smith's contributions to wrestling in a positive goddamn light. It's one thing if people work with him and say, yeah, he was a goddamn shitbag, but this is what happened. But these are people that never fucking worked with the guy. Grandpa Idol yells, again, somebody get him back to his home. Speaking of getting back to their homes, Bully Ray and Mike Knox with a combined age of 95. And Bully Ray moving around like he was born in 1895. Tables match. God, this is terrible. Table chants, because the few people in St. Louis that can actually spell table were really excited about this. God damn it, this was bad. Bully can't work. Mike Knox can't work. This was dog shit. It was kept short. At least there was that. And Mike Knox went through a table. God, and I thought Mike Knox teaming with Kelly Kelly was the worst thing that he did in wrestling. Why is Mike Knox still wrestling? Why is Bully Ray wrestling? Bully Ray talks about how modern wrestling isn't what, the old days were. Well, no, see, Bully, because, granted, not as many people are watching now as watching back then, but they shouldn't be taking liberties like you took with numerous people, Rico Constantino and so many others. Bully's a washed-up has-been where his best time was being a heel in TNA right when they were starting to go downhill. So maybe that's always going to eat at him. Anyway, Hawks Aries, Luke, Hawks, and PJ took on La Rebellion with Damien 666. Vacant NWA tag title match. And by this point, it wasn't I didn't care, the match just didn't click. The match also went too long. It went too long, but it also seemed like they were rushing. We got one being attacked, then the other tagged in, and the other was attacked. And then just went on for a while. We got the missed. Oh no, the referee didn't see. And then the most devastating maneuver in all professional wrestling, surprise, roll up 1, 2, 3. La Rebellion regained the tag titles. I mean, I'm just saying, if they'd gone with Hawks Aries winning, hey, father and son winning, no promotion's done that. Actually, it would have been kind of cool to see. So, here's Tyrus and Co. By the way, Douglas Williams also shook the hand of La Rebellion and said, ha ha ha, I will get you when I can actually get a partner that actually can stay healthy. So, right before the main event, we get Tyrus, who has been at least accused of, and likely did, sexually assault somebody. Tyrus and Co. are here, and who's the TV champion still. So that title has meant absolutely nothing for the last year plus. Here's Trevor Murdoch and William Patrick Corgan, who does not look healthy at all. And Tyrus, talking about being the best TV champion of all time. Tyrus, I don't think you can name one TV champion that has ever existed in the early days of the NWA. I don't think you can name one. They didn't even know Arn Anderson was a TV champion. You know what? Tom Zenk, the Z-Man, was a better TV champion. He only held it for like 2 weeks. So anyway, Murdoch says, you'll win this over my dead body. Murdoch is really trying. It seems like Murdoch's lost weight. It just seems like, Tyrus doesn't give a shit. He can't move. He sweats when he freaking, moves his arm. He sweats when he stands there. You can be 59 and still wrestle, or you can be 49 and you could be labored like you're about 79. Really worried they're going to put the title on Tyrus, and if they do, whew, goodness me. Well, let's finish up with La Guerra Loca Taya Valkyrie taking on Camille for the NWA Women's Championship. And was it a great match? There were elements of a great match here. It got messy. I think they tried to do way too many false finishes. I'm not even saying the women, I'm just saying whoever laid this out. But there was good stuff here because Taya Valkyrie, who's tremendous. I love her. She's a great talent. She's been doing this for years. With her style and the way she works, she could do this conceivably until she's 50 and still work safe and still work well because she's just that good and she's a great personality. Camille, she's been great as champion since being Serena Deeb and has done some good stuff. Camille's been one of the few bright spots. And Camille targeted the neck. Taya targeted the arm. There was some good work here. We get 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. The crowd was getting a little bit more into this, but then it got to where the crowd was getting frustrated because they were doing too many near falls. And we got a stomp. We got a bunch of stomps. We got a ref bump. And then we got a belt shot for 2. But then we got eventually a spear for 3. And then the women come out to celebrate, including Maddie Renkowski. Watching you, Renkowski. And there you go. Camille wins, and she's going to take on Maxine Paler, tomorrow. It wasn't... the women basically stole the show in the main event, but it was petty theft, because the whole show was a microcosm of the NWA, where there was some good parts, but unfortunately, I'm worried what they're going to do with night 2. I don't know. That's just how I feel. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Like, share, subscribe. Twitter handle in the description. I'm John Rentlin. I'll see you soon.